instant in your pockets. Doop-a-doo. We better make haste or let that meat go to waste in the wasteland.
Hey, welcome to Bastard Quest. I am your game bastard, Austin.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey, Austin.
I'm Austin.
Austin Quest.
Oh, I got lost in the rhythm of it.
Wait, did you just try to say your name twice?
I did.
Your lord.
God.
Ego out of control.
I know.
So, welcome to Bastard Quest. Today, Austin is GMing because we're continuing our playthrough of Modifius 2D20 Fallout, the role-playing game.
It's been fun so far, or at least I've had fun.
Well, I'm glad somebody is.
My roles have been consistent, but I've compensated for it.
Oh, wait there. My name is Pickle Fitzsimmons Buckeater. I'm a super mutant, descended from a long line of honorable Mainers.
Hey there, my character's name is Duke Fury. I'm a vault dweller. I like to refer to that vault sometimes as the Heartbreak Hotel. Come on.
I'm playing Bailey Big Smile, a depressed ghoul.
Yeah, that's...
It is not a stretch.
If you're not familiar with Fallout, ghouls are not undead. They are mutants, basically, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that right, Austin? You're the
Yeah, so there are varying degrees of ghouls throughout the wasteland. There are people who just kind of suffer from a skin affliction, for lack of a better term, who just look like corpses but are otherwise, still very sentient, very intelligent, very compassionate. Those people generally devolve through varying degrees of mental degradation until they become pretty much feral. So our adventurers in the wasteland stumbled upon a scientist named Dr. Rast being fired upon by some raiders outside a vault, which turned out to be Vault 95. Ventured down into the vault after they defeated the raiders and found a wounded woman named Mika, who is a scientist of some sort who described a device that she was scouting a good place to use. Right before she died, she told the PCs, find a man named Clements, tell him it's time to find the promised land.
Yeah. Oh, I have her body in my parts sack.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I'm going to make a note.
I've got it. I wrote it down.
He's got it. Yeah.
So that was some of the loot you took out of the vault. Corey, you at least made off with one extra weapon, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm dual wielding pipe revolvers now.
Okay.
Sure.
Do you already have stats for both of those?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Now, I did spend some luck. Does that refresh each session, or is that an adventure currency?
This says the game master can choose to refresh your luck points when you reach a milestone of some sort. So no.
Okay.
Wow.
No, I think what we're going to do is we'll probably refresh those at the beginning of each session.
So now.
Yes.
So, yes.
Oh, okay.
So you guys ready to get started?
Yes.
Dr. Rast, the gas mask wearing scientist,
Not a
is
villain.
leading the way to Diamond City in the heart of what used to be Boston. Diamond City is essentially a settlement. There is no city in the wasteland that is the size of what current day Boston is like. The largest settlements are communities that now exist in like single gutted skyscrapers, or in this case, just big warehouses or things like that.
Whether or not we're successful in this mission, I like the sound of Diamond City. I might be able to get me some more gemstones for my jumpsuit. Thank you.
I got a gym suit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me about that, Pickle.
It's a suit of a guy made... His name's Jim. Well, from Jim.
Skin
Wow.
suit.
He's got a Jim J. Bullock fucking like Buffalo Bill. He's been building a gym suit instead of a lady suit all these years.
Well, he was dying. He said, don't forget me, Pickle. And I said, okay.
He can do.
All right. Chapter 2, The Boston Ruins.
That rhymes with the Boston Bruins.
I was about to say, like, they should have just... Yeah.
I think that was probably a joke the writers made that I didn't get.
And they were just dying laughing.
Look,
Losers.
everybody will get this. Not Austin.
Nope. You travel together for several long hours through a dusty, hot day in the wasteland. Dr. Rast guides you, explaining that many of the lone filling stations, overpasses, and other ruins you pass by are home to raiders, super mutant gangs, and insane battle robots who believe America is still at war.
Jesus.
As the sun dips over the horizon, you finally see the gutted skeletal skyline of what was once Boston. Black smoke rises in the distance between a couple of ruined skyscrapers. Suddenly, you find your progress impeded by a giant retaining wall made of scrap metal and cracked concrete forms.
And leftover VHS copies of Good Will Hunting.
You actually run up on a fort made of all those Jerry Maguire tapes that dude was collecting.
Jesus.
Okay, so there's a couple of ways to get past this wall and into the Boston territory proper. At the foot of the retaining wall is a 3-walled staging area for what must have once been a sewage treatment facility. A rusty metal catwalk traces up and over a reservoir the size of a large swimming pool, the foamy liquid inside glowing with radiation. And you can see where the catwalk disappears into a sewage access substation, leading down into the sewer tunnels below the old city. And then slightly to the west of that, sticking out of the retaining wall, is a giant crumbling warehouse, riveted over with steel plates and with steam pipes tracing over the metal walls like veins. The entrance is a set of wide double doors held shut by 2 heavy padlock chains. A rusty sign near the door says Green Brothers and Company, but spray painted over that are the words, "Don't let us out." Dr. Raz steps forward and pulls his gas mask off. You get a glimpse of his face for the first time.
Pickle shrieks.
It's a regular human face. He's got white sideburns. He kind of looks like Dr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic, sorry.
Yeah, please don't give Mr. Fantastic false valor.
How is he not a doctor? He's the smartest man in the world.
That's true.
The fuck?
Dr. Raz looks around both at the warehouse and off in the distance the sewage treatment facility and looks back at you. Without having to climb over, these are the 2 safest ways through the passage back into the old remains of the city. But I've never been through this warehouse. I have no idea what's been in there. I've made my way through the sewer tunnels before, but it is perilous.
You know what just occurred to me, Doc? Looking at this city and looking at the shape that it's in, I believe that Diamond City might be an ironic name.
You are quite correct.
Yeah, well, this one time, this group of villagers was chasing me through the woods, and when they caught up with me, like, they didn't want to waste the fire to burn me, so they just gave me pink belly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. One time I ran upon these raiders, and instead of killing me, they just gave me numerous purple nurples.
One time, Dolly Parton told me I wasn't worth a damn. She's nice to everybody.
One time, I was petting a cat, and I was like rubbing his belly, and I was like, "Oh, who's the best kitty?" And then he scratched me.
And what happened to that kitty?
Well, I'm highly irradiated, so he turned into a giant cat. Then they had to go live in a farm upstate.
Live in the radiation farm.
With all the other giant kitties.
Yeah, we had like 20 giant kitties.
Jesus.
Mama told me to stop touching them, but I couldn't help it.
They're so fluffy.
So what do you guys want to do? You basically got 2 options. Both of these are ways to pass this kind of retaining protective wall over the ruins of Boston. One is a warehouse that you assume the other end of which comes out inside the city streets. And the other is the sewage treatment plant that leads into the sewer tunnels underneath the streets.
Which way will it be less likely that we'll have to hear Irish punk rock?
Well, it's Irish punk rock, so obviously the sewer.
So
hey.
I think for Pickle and Bailey, we're immune to radiation.
Yes.
So we'd be fine in the sewers. I don't know if Duke Fury would be.
We ain't splitting up.
Well, that's my point. Like,
Yeah.
if I don't know how deadly radiation is in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Duke is human, so...
That's actually, Kyle, thank you. That's a good opportunity for me to go through that. So we've dealt with physical damage. Energy damage is pretty self-explanatory. Energy weapons or things like fire are going to prey upon your energy damage. Radiation damage affects not your current HP, but your max HP. Oh. For every point of raid damage you take, your max HP goes down. Now, that can be mediated. If you use chems like Raid Away or something like that, you can heal radiation damage. But until you do, your max HP is lowered.
Okay. So, again, Kyle and I aren't affected by that, but Todd and possibly the doctor would be.
I'm assuming he's totally human, right?
He looks like a dude.
Yeah.
I'm picturing Michael Fassbender.
Now, Todd, your character would know this. You're a vault dweller. You have a Pip-Boy on your wrist.
Yes.
In fact, it's probably been playing scratchy old 40s and 50s music the whole walk here. It does have a Geiger counter included in it.
Okay.
So you will be informed, like anytime you're coming across something radioactive. I will tell you that.
All right, that helps me out a lot. Thank you very much.
Oh, don't worry. If we go through radiation, I can just carry you like Jesus.
God.
And them glowing footprints, that was where Pickle was carrying me.
Yeah.
In his bag.
You can stay in my bag with the lady scientist. Okay, Austin, how tall is this warehouse?
What you would expect for like a storage building, maybe 25, 30 feet high.
Okay, would it be possible to climb on top of the warehouse and see what they have inside it before we go in and face whatever monsters have been trapped there?
So there are a few footholds that allow you to get about 10 feet up, but after that, it is sheer concrete walls.
Can we roll perception or something to try to look in windows? It's a warehouse. There's got to be windows, right?
Okay, you don't have to actually roll perception for that. You can see in the windows. They are also plated shut, just like some of the steel plates that are holding together some of the cracked walls in the warehouse. They are bolted up from the inside.
Okay. So it's possible that it's either bolted up to keep radiation out, which is good for us, or to keep radiation in to let the monsters cook longer and get worse.
I mean, is there even a way to get in the warehouse?
It's held together with these padlock chains. You can obviously make a perception lockpick check. You could try to force it.
Let's just go in the warehouse. Sounds fun.
Oh, no, Duke Fury's down for a warehouse.
Far be it for me to be the voice of reason. So let's go.
Okay.
Wee.
And if you fail to get into the warehouse, you can always take the other path.
Well, Pickle does the polite thing. He goes up to the doors and knocks.
Cal, make a survival check with perception.
Okay, so that's I do have survival. That is a tag for me at 3. My perception is 6, so this is going to be 9 or less.
So what's your target number?
9 or less.
Okay.
16 and 14.
All right. You see the door shuddering a bit, but
Quiet is scared.
You can't hear anything inside.
Hold up here, fellas. Duke Fury is tagged in lockpick, and he's a rank of 3.
Oh, fantastic. The doors have stopped shuddering. If you want to try to pick the lock, it's going to be a difficulty 2. So you're going to be making a perception lockpick check.
All right, well, my perception is a 6, and my lockpick is a 3.
So you're trying to beat a 9.
Oh, there's an 18 and an 8. Duke Fury's going to use luck and re-roll that dice that came up at 18.
Okay, so that you're gonna mark 1 point off of your luck, and
That's
you
right,
get
that brings it down to a 4.
okay, and you get to re-roll 1 die.
That's a 17.
It's better.
So Duke Fury is leaning down at the door, trying to pick the padlocks with his bobby pins. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to knock on the door, because right when Duke looks like he thinks he's about to get it, he gets real still. His eyes get real wide. He starts hearing those tumblers clicking into place. And then the doors shudder again as whatever's inside bangs against them again. You still don't hear anything, but there's a faint snap, and Duke's staring at the broken off end of his bobby pin sticking out of the padlock. Corey, make a perception check with survival.
Okay, I'm tagged in survival. My survival's a 2. My perception's a 6. So target 8.
Difficulty 2.
Well, I got a 4 and a 13, so I'm going to use a luck to
Okay.
re-roll that 13. That's a 7.
You can tell from the sounds that you hear, Corey, that those are feral ghouls inside that warehouse.
It's very typical.
And there is a lot of them
It's
by the sound of it.
Probably cousins.
Dr. Rast goes a little pale as the sounds start emanating actually from inside the warehouse and says, "Boys, I don't know if this is the way to go."
Okay, I'm glad we wasted all this time. Can we go somewhere else?
Okay, let's go swimming in a radiation pond. Come on, everybody.
It's fine with me. What's the matter?
So we go the way not filled with zombies. Yeah.
So you guys are making your way over to the entrance to the sewage treatment facility.
Yay.
Of course.
So Rast has been this way before. He knows the way, but he is walking pretty slowly, and nobody's happy about this. When you reach the bottom of those metal steps, you're greeted by a foul smell of sewage, mold, and old rot. The sound of water echoes from the dark tunnel's cavernous walls. A small pathway wide enough for 2 people travels some 30 feet onward along one side of the arched tunnel.
I'll be damned, it smells like Ohio down here.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Along the path, dirty water some 10 feet wide runs bordered by another walkway on its other side, but that curves off around a path into the dark. Dr. Rast pulls out a flashlight and says, "This is the way I normally take. We don't have to be down here long, just enough to get to the passage on the other side of the wall."
Well, I tell you what, doctors, it'd be a whole lot easier for me to do if I had me a little speed. You know what I'm talking about? A little amphetamine. We used to call them white crosses or bennies or what have you.
You're going to die in the toilet.
He gives you a strange... Dr. Rast gives you a strange look and says, "Well, would you like some chems of some kind?"
Yeah, what you got there, Doc?
All right, so since Duke Fury had the initiative to ask for drugs, I'm going to roll to see what Dr. Rast decides to give you.
Have some pillow.
Shh, go to sleep. So Dr. Rast pulls from his pocket an injector of Radex. This will last for the rest of this session. You get a +6 radiation damage resistance.
That's
what
good.
that's what I
You're the
actually-
only one not immune to radiation, so that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I actually rolled. So Dr. Rast continues to lead you down this passageway. This is the one that follows to the left, basically. There's a central channel of water that's about 10 feet wide that flows along the middle of this arched tunnel that mazes away in all directions. The pathway to the left is where Dr. Rast is leading you to what hopefully is a short trip to what he tells you is a manhole cover that just comes out pretty much on the other side of this retaining wall. But it's not too long before you start to see signs of blood on the walls.
Do you mean we see bits of blood on the walls, or do you mean we literally see a sign made with blood, like Ted's ointment?
No,
But it's blood.
no, Kyle. There's a sign that says blood ahead.
I mean, this is a messed up post-apocalyptic world, so I think either is plausible. I just want to be clear on what, was there a fight or, a crazy person?
Yeah, are we shining a black light the whole way? How's the semen looking down here?
What kind of fecal matter we got down here?
Well, there's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a sewer.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
So you see just basically lots of blood splatters on the wall.
Okay, gotcha.
So, a little Jackson Pollock action down there in the sewer.
It is art.
As you round the corner, you hear Dr. Rast say, "Oh no." And his flashlight falls on this doorway that has collapsed in a pile of rubble and stone. And beside the pile of rubble is this corpse kind of seated up against the flat stone wall.
Is it Mark Wahlberg?
It's you can't quite tell because of how much it's decayed. In its arms, in its almost skeletal arms, are the broken remains of what looks like a launcher. You think this was probably a weapon in Fallout known as, I think it's called a Fat Boy. Launches like a little mini nuke.
So it's Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In The Sixth Sense.
All right, so you're at a dead end, but you're facing a corpse. Now, the weapon is too damaged to do anything with. You do still have the pathway that you did not take when you first entered the sewer. There was a path moving off to the left that followed the left side of the tunnel, and there was one that curved around to the right.
Let's just go that other way. It's probably got to go somewhere.
Yeah, it sounds good.
It's like they say back home, all sewers lead to Boston.
So are you guys going to turn around and take the other path?
Yes,
Sure.
Pickle leads the way.
All right, so you retrace your steps back to the beginning of the tunnel and take the path off to the right. The walkway stretches past alcoves and beyond to a long stretch of dripping sewer tunnels. It looks like you're in the middle of a giant grid, but straight beyond, straight ahead, you can see a catwalk about 150 meters up that seems to lead towards some source of light. The sounds of unseen vermin skittering about in the darkness reverberate through the area. At last you come upon a larger alcove. Rast shines his flashlight around the room, revealing a heavy metal utility door just ahead.
Heavy metal utility door.
And this, you can tell, is where you can go to get to the catwalk you spotted earlier. As you make to cross the room, you start to notice other corpses littering the room. in the same jumpsuits as the corpse that was sitting next to the collapsed walkway. And suddenly those corpses start moving. But they're not ghouls because they don't stand up and walk around like Bailey. They kind of swell and it looks like the skin is bubbling for a moment until from inside the bodies burst these 4 small crab-like mutant things with soft shells covering their chitinous body. And they come aggressively skittering out of the various bodies around you, antennas attached to their faces twitching like crazy, and they start hurtling towards you. Let's look at initiative. And boy, that just doesn't have the ring to it that roll for initiative does. All right, so what do you guys have?
My initiative is 11.
10.
12.
So these are Mirelurk hatchlings, like a cross between a crab and an armadillo. You can tell their chitinous bodies can kind of roll up, and their initiative is 8. So they're going last. You guys have plenty of time to react because they're also very small. These are hatchlings.
Like small, like hamster small? What are we talking about here?
Like a dog.
Well, there's many sizes of dogs, Austin.
Yeah,
Is this a
are we talking
greyhound? Is it,
Think like a border collie.
Oh,
Like
okay.
like these little crab-like monsters the size of border collies.
I mean, that's a pretty good sized dog. You
Yeah,
can't,
it's a large crab.
Yeah, you can't just stomp on them, right?
I don't know. Try it.
Can we say schnauzer?
So I guess, Corey, you go first, right?
Yeah, Corey's up first.
Okay.
They're within about 3 or 4 feet of you, coming out of bodies at various directions. You're all pretty much surrounded. There's 4 of them.
Okay. Bailey has 2 pipe gun pistols.
Yep.
Does that mean I get 2 shots at them?
You know what? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But I'm going to raise the difficulty if you're going to use 2 guns. You're going to be allowed to do the damage with both guns, but I'm going to raise the difficulty by 1.
Okay.
So it'll be difficulty 2.
Okay. Would this be my small gun skill?
Yes, small guns and agility.
Okay, my agility's a 6, my small gun's a 2, so I'm going for a target 8.
Okay, are you tagged in anything?
I am tagged in small guns.
Okay, excellent.
Bailey unleashes the pipe guns, looks to the crabadillos, and says, "One time Harvey Weinstein invited me to his office, but he just put more clothes on." And fires. It's a 3 and a 13.
All right.
Damn it, so close to that crit.
Very close.
Gonna spend a luck.
Okay.
And a fucking 17.
All right. So 2 bullets fly from Bailey's guns and kind of whiz past it, but the little fucking thing is skittering around so much that the bullets just ricochet off the walls, and you hear crumbling stone around you as they keep chittering a little bit closer and closer to you. Next up is Todd. So there's 2 that are kind of closing in on Bailey. There's 1 closing in on Todd, and 1 that is just about at Pickle's ankles.
I'm gonna take fire at that one that's closing in on Duke Fury because Duke Fury don't cotton to critters who are closing in on him. I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna pretend it's a TV, and I'm gonna draw my 10mm pistol,
Okay.
and I'm gonna take a shot at that little sumbitch.
All right. This is going to be difficulty 1, small guns and agility.
Here's the thing, though. Duke Fury's got a perk called VATS. It says I can ignore the difficulty increase for targeting a hit location.
Okay. So then you can take aim for a specific part. What do you want to aim for?
I would aim for the head.
Okay.
well.
So there is a very kind of less protected area on the front of these things that you are pretty sure is the head.
Yep.
It's where some pinchers and antenna.
I was
And,
about to say, where's the head on a crab?
The not butt, I guess.
Right.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That part in between the claws.
Gotcha.
All right, so my small guns, I'm tagged in small guns.
okay.
A rank of 2. Agility is 5, so the target number is 7.
Okay. So
No.
kind of a hard roll, but you're still only trying to get 1 success.
Right, and no difficulty increase, which is very important. Oh, that's a 2. That's a crit.
That's a crit.
Nice.
So do you want to take an action point or apply that to extra damage?
Let's apply that to extra damage.
Okay, so what damage does your 10mm pistol do?
It does a 4.
So that's 4d6. Now you spent an action point, so take a 5th one there.
Well, let's see here. We got 2 6s. We got a 4, a 3, and a 1.
So yeah, we're getting rid of 3 and 4.
Yep.
So you're doing a total of 3 damage and 2 effects. What effects come with that pistol?
None.
Okay.
What effects come with that pistol? Blood loss, organ damage.
Shipping butter.
Okay, so you can tell its face is definitely a weak point because as soon as Duke fires, this thing just explodes.
Damn.
Hey, Duke says, wise men say, only foolish crabs rush in.
And with a blast of his gun, there's just this, and this thing explodes in a mass of green kind of liquid. And you even see the three others start to just skitter away into the radiated water. But there's a rumbling.
My face is also my weak point.
So they skittered into the water. We're still in initiative. They might come back. But for the moment, you're free to go ahead and move through the metal doorway.
So the metal doorway, there's only one way to get to the metal doorway.
Yeah, you can
from
see.
the catwalk.
So at the end of this tunnel, there's a brick wall that is kind of crumbled halfway up, and you can see that through the doorway, that gets you to the catwalk that you saw earlier.
Pickle goes and knocks on the door.
It swings open.
See?
Through the maintenance door, you enter a dripping chamber lit by hanging fluorescent lights that are only barely still hanging on. The room's covered in ankle-deep brown sludge that seems to be filling from a connecting tunnel to your left.
This is poop.
Correct. Sitting beside the tunnel entrance to your left is a large red metal barrel marked with the symbol of yellow flames. Stuck to the ceiling and walls are countless numbers of eggs the size of human heads. Some of them you're pretty sure are human heads. Grotesque eggs throb and pulse in the slow rhythm of a heartbeat, and along the wall where the eggs are most numerous is a heap of dismembered human limbs in various stages of decay.
Hey there, Pickle. You can add some stuff to your bag there.
Nope.
And with that sound from Pickle's lips, a gargantuan dark shape appears from the
Pickle
water
lips. You should join the Joe team.
A dark shape starts to kind of eke out of the darkness in the tunnel to your left. Something reaches out and shakes the catwalk that makes you nearly fall off, skittering into the light on crab-like legs as thick as tree trunks and screeches in fury with an ear-splitting sound that echoes into the distant sewer tunnels. You are looking at a Mirelurk queen. Its body is, it looks like half shredded. It looks like whatever that guy launched in the other tunnel did some damage to it earlier. But this thing is dragging half its body towards you, screeching and skittering and spitting acid everywhere. And its initiative is 18. So it's going to move in before you can really react and take a swipe at Pickle.
Okay.
And I'm going to spend an action point and get an extra die.
Birds migrate away from me.
This is a target number. This is a melee target number 15. What's your defense, Kyle?
Just one, as far as I know.
Cool. Well, it didn't roll great, but he did get it. Got 2 successes, so I get that action point back. It does vicious physical damage, 7 damage die. I did 4 damage with 2 effects, and under vicious, that just means 2 more damage, so 6 damage overall.
And I assume this is hitting me in, say, the torso?
Let's see. So one pincher comes down and just jabs directly through the bicep of Pickle's right arm.
Oh, that'd be the one I don't have armor on.
And swipes down with a loud screech and just rips a gash in your arm.
So 6 damage?
Yeah.
Wow, more like dust in Diamond City.
And I believe... Okay, so 6 damage. That's above 5, so that's a critical hit. And whenever a critical hit occurs, that's an injury, which confers different penalties depending on what location gets hit. In this case, it's an arm. So you drop any object held in that hand, and the arm is broken or otherwise unable to move. You cannot perform any actions using that arm by itself or alongside your other arm.
Oh no, my snow globe.
How did you know I was holding my snow globe? Okay, well, I mean, I haven't gone in combat. Also, technically, I'm not holding anything.
Okay, then we're going to move to Corey.
Okay, Bailey sees this mess of a creature of flesh and ugliness and thinks back to it reminds me of the time I lost my virginity to this guy named Troy, and turned out it wasn't even a boy, it was a rotting pumpkin. So Bailey's going to chuck a baseball grenade into the gaping maw of the beast.
Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be, it's got a normal defense of 2 if aiming at the face. I'm going to say this is difficulty 3.
If I don't chuck at the face specifically and just chuck in general, would that lower the difficulty? If
You're not trying to land it in its mouth, you've got a difficulty 1.
I mean, it's a bomb. Like, I think they can just throw it towards the creature.
Sure.
Okay, I've got, and would that be explosives?
So yeah, I'm going to cross explosives with agility.
Okay, so that's the target number 14 for me.
Okay. Are you tagged in that?
I totally am.
Kick ass.
Which in this means anything under an 8 is a crit.
Anything under an 8?
Yeah, that's what it says.
You have an
Explosives.
explosives of 8?
Okay, I've thought about it. Explosives is a 2.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so yeah, the target number is actually 8.
And this is just going to be difficulty 1 if you're just throwing it in general at the monster.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Got a 7 and a 13.
Okay, so that's 1 success. That's what you needed. Do me a favor, Corey.
Yes.
Roll a d10. 1 through 5, one thing happens. 6 through 10, another thing happens.
That's a 7.
Okay, you're fine. So roll for regular damage on the baseball grenade.
Okay, the baseball grenade is 5d6. So that's a total of 3 with 1 effect.
Okay. Any effects listed on your baseball grenade?
Blast.
Okay, so then that's essentially going to mean it's an AoE damage area of effect, affecting other enemies around. So if you were fighting multiple enemies, they would also take like half damage.
Well, I don't really know these guys. They could be enemies. Especially that shifty doctor.
Well, that's true. But the reason I had you roll that D10 was to see if you threw the grenade anywhere near that red barrel we talked about earlier.
Oh.
And you did not. So you threw it to the far side of the Mirelurk Queen. There's this blast that kind of shakes the ground underneath you, and she staggers off to the side. And you see that same damaged portion that you saw before that looked all shriveled and burnt has been blasted away, and she's kind of dragging that whole side of her body around now as she kind of keeps swinging all of these like tittering little chitinous legs at you. Todd, it's Duke Fury's turn.
Well, let me tell you what's about to happen. Duke Fury's going to draw his switchblade,
An appropriate weapon when fighting a giant monster.
Yeah.
and he's going to get to carving.
So you're moving closer
You're going
to
to
her
melee.
and going to melee the giant crab-like acid-spitting Mirelurk Queen. Okay.
That's right.
All right, so that's defense 1. So then you just need 1 success. I'm going to say that is, we're going to say this is melee strength.
And my target number is going to be a 6 on that.
Okay.
That's a 19 and a 13.
Oh, so she doesn't see you or necessarily care that you're running at her with a switchblade, but one of the legs that she's kind of swinging around in her wounded state kind of slaps your arm, and you drop the switchblade at your feet, and it knocks you back, but it doesn't do any damage. And we move to Pickle.
Okay, so how close is she to the flaming barrel?
Well, she's moved slightly away from it. I'd say she's about a good 5 feet from it now.
Well, it's a flaming barrel. It should have an explosive radius of at least 5 feet. I've played
Yeah.
video games.
Yeah, and I would say you're a solid 8 feet from it.
Pickle runs.
Anything else?
Yeah, he runs and he takes out his pipe rifle and he shoots the barrel.
Okay.
And
All
I'm
right.
going to aim. What does that do?
All right, that's going to give you the ability to re-roll one of your die.
Gotcha. And this is a static object, so I'm
It is a
assuming-
static object. We're going to say that since she is staggering around in front of it, that's going to move your difficulty up to 2. What was your target?
Well, my target is a 6. I rolled a 4 and a 12, but I've got to aim, so I have a re-roll. That's a 10. I'm going to spend a luck.
Okay.
That's an 8, which is still not good enough.
Jeez.
So you do succeed in hitting something. The blast from your rifle. What damage does your rifle do?
It does 3 damage.
Okay. The blast from your rifle blows away a chunk of
Monster.
meat from beneath her kind of chitinous armor on one side.
And Pickle's shouting, "Shoot the barrels, fellas!"
And as everybody gets ready to shoot at the barrel, she's gonna get real pissy.
Well, she was so reasonable before.
Well,
Just
by
a
pissy, I mean
gem.
she's about to spray acid everywhere.
Oh,
Hey, can't we use luck to jump the initiative?
you can.
You can spend luck to jump the initiative.
Somebody that can shoot well should do that.
Duke Fury's gonna spend a luck,
All right.
and he's gonna take that 10mm pistol and shoot at that barrel.
Same thing. This is going to be difficulty 2.
All right, my target number on that is 7. 7 and a 6.
Nice.
Well done, Todd.
Nice. So just as the Mirelurk queen rears up to thrash down at you with both of her front kind of talons, Duke Fury's gun blasts a hole into the barrel, and the barrel explodes in this blast of just lightning hot energy damage. The barrel actually does 5 energy damage to anyone within close range. But Kyle, you very purposefully moved away from it, so we're going to say you got out of range.
Cool. You know, if these are just laying around in the sewers, I'm starting to understand why there was so much damage done to America in the apocalypse.
All right, so that did 3 damage and 2 effects, and the effects of that is persistent damage, which means it is on fire, and that's going to last until its next turn when we're going to roll 2d6 to see if another 2 damage is suffered. Yeah.
Cool.
Like I always say, a little less conversation, a little more action.
So it's thrashing around now. Now it's pissed. It's going to lumber directly at Duke Fury.
I'm going to spend a luck and go for it.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw my tomahawk.
Do you have
Cool.
a tomahawk?
Oh, yeah, I got these tomahawks. One day, me and my Uncle Troy were fishing in a lake.
Yeah, I lost my virginity to him.
Yeah, and we were fishing, and then we pulled up a bunch of old boots, and then we bought some tomahawks.
I mean, a boot is a good trade in the
Yeah.
wasteland.
So that's target number 7. Oh, I'm going to aim.
Defense is going to be 1.
And I have a reroll from aiming. That's a 7.
Yay.
And those do 4d6.
Okay. That's just a single success.
3 damage, 2 effect, which the effect on Tomahawk is piercing 1. So piercing 2, basically.
The blades sink into this unprotected part of the Mirelurk Queen's underbelly, right underneath one of her talons, and you see one of those claw-like legs suddenly like clench in on itself as it starts really staggering around wounded now. She is not doing good, and she is still moving for Duke Fury.
I'm also going to spend a luck to move ahead in initiative.
Okay?
I appreciate that.
He's just going to run. I push Duke Fury closer to the monster.
Bailey leaves.
And with that luck point, that's going to be the last time this round you guys can do that, so she is going next.
Okay.
So don't fuck up, Corey.
Okay, thanks for encouragement. Okay, Bailey's gonna pipe gun. Difficulty 1 or
Standard defense for her is 1
okay.
if you're just shooting at her in general.
Bailey's gonna dual wield again, so both pistols, so that'll make it a difficulty 2, right?
Yes.
Also gonna aim, so can
Okay.
re-roll 1.
So you get 1 reroll, and your target number for small guns is what?
8. Got a 1 and a 2. That is 4 successes.
Yes.
Nice.
All right.
Crit?
So,
Because Bailey is also tagged in small guns at
Yeah.
2, so
Yeah.
Wow.
that's 4
yeah,
successes.
so that's 4 successes. You needed 2. Do you want to take action points or add some damage
Let's add damage.
with both of them?
Sure.
I think, actually, Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong here. On 2d20, is that second die, does that cost 2?
No, not for damage.
For
no.
damage add.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
so we can add +2. So what's your standard damage, Corey?
3d6, so that'll make it 5d6.
Okay.
So 4 damage.
This Mirelurk Queen is bearing down on Duke, raising one talon chitinous leg to bring it right down on his face, and suddenly you see a bullet just tear a hole directly through the part of its face that's sticking out. It kind of slumps to the side and then just falls with a crash at Duke's feet. A little bit of acidic blood leaking out of it.
Can I rush to jump on its back and try to slide down like Legolas on the Oliphant, but like not as coolly?
Yeah, roll athletics. Athletics with agility.
Okay, is this thing dead?
It's dying.
Okay.
We're gonna say you thought to do this before it fell down.
Okay, my agility and athletics is 9.
Okay. Are you tagged?
Yes.
Cool.
Just an athletic person, this Bailey.
Well, he runs from people a lot.
Yeah.
It's a 15 and a 20.
Okay.
Hello. Just gonna eat shit.
Yeah. So Bailey's running. This is the first time she's ever killed anything. She just saved her
Or
pal's life.
experience joy.
Yeah, she is. She doesn't even know what happiness is. It just feels so foreign to her as she leaps off this catwalk, ready to just slide down the back of this motherfucker as it falls down. And it falls a little earlier than she anticipated, and so she just kind of flies right over it. Crashes into the brick wall on the other side, takes 2 points of damage.
God damn it.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was jumping off high things day.
That knocks me down to 10 hit points.
Rast emerges from the corner where he was hiding.
What a dick.
Real quick, I gotta say, big smile. You just put a big smile on my face. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's the first time for that.
You know, it's like Grandpa Muffin always used to say, I really like donuts.
Grandpa Muffin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Yes, that was quite amazing. I've never seen one of those down here. I've heard them plenty of times, and I've seen those little hatchling shits, but I've never seen the queen. You may have just liberated this entire sewer.
I'm just saying we're going to eat good tonight.
Let's go. And he leads the way up the metal catwalk.
Oh, one quick thing. Technically, my right arm is hanging on by a shred. If somebody could just stitch that back on there, that'd be great.
Oh, yeah, that's quite. Come here. Come over here.
I'm also hurt because of finishing move attempt.
Well, he only has one stim pack for the moment.
Fuck.
So he's going to use it to heal
Let me guess.
Pickle's arm.
Hold up. Duke Fury has 2 stem packs, and I'm gonna use one on Bailey.
Okay.
Okay, fine. You could just let me bleed out.
All right. So then Bailey's health is restored. 4 HP is restored to Pickle. And we're going to say your injury is nullified. And with that, Rast leads the group up the metal catwalk and up to the surface. Rast dusts himself off and points down the street to an intersection. Diamond City is just 2 blocks that way. Oh dear. Rounding the corner, about 2 blocks down, is a trio of super mutants. Laughing, talking, and carrying rifles. And that's where we will end for the night.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
So good job, guys.
We survived the giant sewer crab.
Yeah.
Why do none of these games leave on cliffhangers of, and you come across a nice pie? Fuck.
Well, it may have if you guys took the warehouse route.
I doubt
It's
it.
just, it was people trying to open the doors to give us pies.
Yeah. So I had a whole other version of this adventure ready for if you guys chose to continue trying to go through the warehouse route.
Well,
You actually would have run into some feral ghouls. And Bailey, you wound up saving the day here too, but you would have been able to have a chance to save the day in the warehouse as well, because ghouls aren't targeted by feral ghouls.
really?
Yeah,
Weird.
You had a little advantage in combat there.
Okay, well, we'll just do over.
We can go back.
Yeah.
But no, you're in Boston proper now and looking for Diamond City. So good job, guys.
Thanks.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. But thank you most importantly to our Patreon members.
Yes.
None of which were featured in tonight's episode.
No, Austin cannot be bothered.
Yeah, once again, the guys worked their way around that one. The family of feral ghouls in the warehouse was going to be the Hill family, but
Because of Mary?
yeah.
God damn it. Can't we just make her wonderful at some point?
Well, she would have technically been alive
Oh, yeah.
when you ran across her.
Yeah, about as alive as Bailey.
Feral monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we appreciate each and every one of you.
Yes, God bless you all.
Yeah, but we're about to get to Diamond City, so we're probably about to encounter a whole fuck ton of Patreon supporters.
Yay. Thank you to our sponsor, Barrel and Bond.
Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway, downtown Paducah, one of the best bourbon bars in the world.
There is a manhole in the bathroom. Do not go down it.
No, but feel free to puncture the barrel. Why do you think they call it barrel and bond?
Yeah. I really can't underline enough how much this book tried to put that out there. Like, there is an explosive barrel next to the monster.
Well, it's a video game RPG.
Sure,
Like,
it is.
there's always like a barrel that is oddly more fluorescent.
yeah.
than-
At first, I was going to cut it out, but I was like, fuck, if you insist, let's have fun with it.
Yeah, you got to have the tropes in there, right?
Sure.
Well, and thank you to our listeners,
Yes, thank you all.
especially if you made it this far.
Yeah, please follow us on the social medias, all that jazz.
Leave us a
and-
like, leave us a review.
Yeah,
Well, thank you. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.